I'll call the member for Bowman.
Deputy Speaker, it's right we talk up the importance of organ donation and placing our names as Australian citizens on the register. It's also right that we debate this twice in 2 sitting weeks. So anyone who thinks they've heard this before, dead right, and it's worth speaking about more than one occasion when it's as important as life and death decisions. I guess the great sort of moral unease that many of us have is that 98% of us would take an organ like that, but only 25% of us are prepared to donate one. And as I contemplate those figures, I look across at what other economies are doing to promote organ donation, and I realise they're facing very similar challenges. So maybe I'll use the short time available to look at what's happening in nations like New Zealand, Canada, US, New Zealand, even a nation like Vietnam, to raise organ donation rates. Now, the figures are well known to all of us. Only 20% of Australians can recall specifically having had a discussion about organ donation. Only 40% will actually say that they would know the positions of their own relatives as pertains to whether they would donate an organ or not, and only about 60% of people at the moment, when in that crunch point, will decide to allow the organs of their relatives to be donated, the 20-40-60 rule, as I call it. We can do better, you're quite right, but we should never believe that it's quite a simple matter to simply run a public awareness campaign and have those figures go up. It's much harder than it looks. So I commend the work of the Organ Donation Register in Australia to put out a very simple message. You can donate from the age of 18. From the age of 16, you can indicate your interest to do so. It is not about medical research. It's not about looking at biomedical products and their development. This is about making that life-changing decision. And one person can change the lives of 10 or more. We know that at the moment, while 25% of Australians are on the register in our nation, that's relatively low when we compare it to other countries. And of course, whether or not you've ticked a box on your driver's licence, make sure that you've made it really, really clear, not just to one relative, but to as many as you can, to your close friends, that you wish to be a donor. These are the important messages to provide. That the Medicare card number is an important way of finding individuals and allowing their information about donating and their consent to do so, can actually follow them via a Medicare number, and that has significant advantages over not providing one. If we look across the Tasman and New Zealand, they've got particular challenges with obviously a large Maori population, and they've responded in an innovative way with radio shows referred to as Te Ahi Ka, to reconcile the traditional concepts of mind and body with the more Western notion of donating organs. And they're doing that exceptionally well, and those TV shows went to air only 2 or 3 weeks ago. There are inspirational stories in this 7-show series that are basically raising the issues, but also making, I think, the populace aware of the massive benefits that can accrue from this one single but timely decision, often made by relatives who haven't had that specific conversation. In the UK, they have the Heart to Heart campaign, where you're encouraged to have dinners with colleagues and with friends, with family, with fellow students, to talk about the idea of donating. Like Australia, they have a large and well-funded transplant week, and their organ donation percentages are slightly higher than Australia's. The UK has a My Life, My Gift campaign. They use radio, cinema, library, as well as health outlets to promote the idea of donating. And of course, they've got a very, very detailed portfolio on things you can do to increase donation, innovative ideas that wouldn't have first come to your thoughts, such as being a mystery shopper, walking into health establishments and asking, where are the donation consent forms? They should be here. Or going to an empty office, empty unlet real estate. Of course, the UK has plenty more of that than we do, and saying, why can't we put up inside those glass windows posters publicising organ donation? Lots of innovative ideas, and they even provide a logo that you can drop onto anything that's being printed and disseminated. In Canada, the Organ Donation and Transplant Association is also doing great work, reaching out to around 5 million households and distributing nearly 2 million organ donor cards, which is great. And they have in particular a teens focus. So they have a Teens for Transplant focus, which encourages young people to talk to families about it. Another great idea we could take on. The USA has organdonor.gov, obviously doing work at an even grander scale. And a nation, even like Vietnam, with its single-party state, finds a way of involving its 7.6 members of the Communist Youth Union on Blood Sunday to step forward and to be pure of heart and mind and give blood. So they do that in large numbers, and in a developing economy is finding a way to do it very successfully. countries around the world applying different solutions to the same problem. Australia can learn from some of these great ideas, and I commend the work of everyone working in organ donation.